Hi friends, welcome back to Pastor Kevin and Friends. This Sunday is a very important day in the life of the church, and I welcome each and every one of you. So glad you could join me today. Happy Resurrection Day. It's a great day in the life of the church. And not just our church, but every church across the world should be celebrating this day. It's the most important day in the year because Jesus is risen. And if you remember, Jesus died on the cross, right? Well, it was on that Friday they crucified Jesus. They put his body on the cross and waited until he was dead. They thought that they would wipe him out and stop the spread of people wanting to know God. Well, after he died, they took his body off of the cross and they wrapped it in burial clothing. Now, I don't know what that burial clothing was exactly but it was some form of material, and they wrapped Jesus up in that material. Then they took his body and they put it in a grave. So I have this envelope, and I'm going to put his body in the envelope. After they put his body in the grave, they sealed the grave. So I have some tape. They sealed the grave. So Jesus was in the grave, right? Well, after they put Jesus's body in the grave, they took and they surrounded him with guards so that nobody could try to get him back out and say that, yeah, Jesus is risen. They didn't want that to happen. They wanted to make sure he stayed dead, and that he stayed in the grave, that nobody else got in. Well, that was on Friday. And on Saturday, the guards were still there. On Sunday morning, the ground began to shake. The guards became a little scared because the stone that was in front of the grave rolled away. They were so scared, it was as if they were dead. Well, that grave, when anybody went inside, it was empty. He was not there, just as he said. And that seal on the tomb, it was broken. And when they went inside, they found the grave clothes. They were folded, because by being folded, that means Jesus was going to return. But Jesus was not in the grave clothes. He had risen just as he said. And one day, Jesus is coming back. And if you've made him your forever friend, he's coming back to take you to be home with him forever and ever. Jesus is risen, and that is good news. And the Bible tells us that if we believe that Jesus is Lord and that God raised him from the dead, we shall be saved. That's one of the most important verses I can tell you about today. Happy Resurrection Day. Bye-bye.